guys, if you don't know what this video is about, don't worry, because I don't really either. Okay, so there's a couple of things that I want to explain in this video. First is why I have a dorm tour up if I'm going to be a senior in high school. And then second, everything else. So that is because I took a summer course in Columbia University. You may have heard of it, whatever. I took it in my desired major for when I want to attend a university and or college. In the fall of 2017, and that is digital filmmaking. So I don't know if I've mentioned it, I definitely have, but like to re-talk about it, which I definitely will develop further in this video and I'm sure others. I want to do a college series, by the way. So basically that's why I was at a dorm, because it was a 3-week program, so you dormed there and you ate there and you know took classes there, everything like that. It's in New York City, Columbia University, by the way. I definitely like it was beautiful, etc. If you don't know anything of what I'm talking about, my dorm tour will be listed down below. So that's all I had to explain to that. Other than that, I am going to be a senior in high school. Let's go on from that. So when you're going to be, I think once you hit junior year, like the pressure is on about looking for colleges, deciding your major, and all of that kind of stuff. And there's tons of videos on YouTube and tons of websites that are from a perspective of someone who already got into college. And I have rarely seen videos of people who haven't gotten into their college yet, because clearly you want advice from someone who has more knowledge. But this is, if you're in the same boat as me, or you're going to be a junior, or going to be a sophomore, something along those lines, you can watch at any age. I was watching dorm tours, I think, going into 8th grade, so I mean, you know, it's up for grabs. But I just want to share my perspective from before and then like midway, and then whilst we're like going through the process, we can do it together, you know? Also, I don't know how much memory is on this memory card, so should be good. I guess first thing we could talk about are schools that I was looking at for film. And I don't know if this is really going to be an advice video or just a me talking video and rambling and things like that. Okay. So, for sure, so I toured colleges, going into my junior year for the very first time. Not toured, but I just kind of looked at them. I looked at Boston University and Northeastern, yes. I went to Boston, for a bit, I think less than a week, last summer, so I checked out a bunch of those colleges, and that really like set the mood for me, and I was like, alright, it's on. So that summer I started taking SAT courses, you know, like really beefing myself up. I don't know what that term is at all. So I did, if we're gonna talk about that too, I did take 3 SATs, I'm gonna say, I probably took October, November, I skipped December, and then I was going to take the January one. But if you live in New York, or I think anywhere on the East Coast at that time, there was a huge snowstorm blizzard, so the January one was canceled and we all took it in February. So I did take 3 SATs, and that's about as far as my standardized testing goes besides AP courses. I did take 3 AP courses this past year, AP Psych, AP English and Language and Composition, and AP US History. So those are kind of, if you're from an international, if you're not from America or the United States, that would be comparable to your IB courses, and colleges are supposedly looking for that. Again, I can't tell you because I don't know, but I'm gonna go with probably. I didn't do very well on them, by the way, the actual exams for AP, so I'm hoping that that's not really an issue, that they actually just look at the fact that I took the course. So yeah, if you're curious, I plan on taking 2 ACTs and I believe 2 new SATs. If you're in the same boat as I am, that you're going into senior year right now, as we're speaking, you know, then you know that the old SAT is changing to a very new SAT, and actually already changed. I just didn't get on board quick enough. I didn't plan on taking the new SAT at all. I was just gonna take the old one, but my mom is weird about me taking them. She's gotten a lot lighter on it now that she like sees what schools I really want to go to, and that I can most likely get in with my, you know, my scores and probably what I'm going to get on the ACT. Personally, after looking at ACT math sections, I really prefer the ACT to the new SAT. One thing I gotta tell you is I am not a terrible writer or anything like that. If you ever listen to my videos, like, and actually listen to me talk, I am not illiterate, and I don't know how to go on from there, but basically, I I can write. However, I don't do well on the essay portion of the SAT on, like, without getting really into my scores or anything, but not well. On my SATs for, you know, as I said, October, November, and February, January, whatever, I got an 8 the first time and then 2 7s, which it's out of 12, so no, it's not good. And what kind of sucks about that is that it averages into your writing score, so it brought my whole score down, and it was actually really terrible because I got like 5 wrong on the writing section, which is like super bomb, like you're good, like, like, you know, but then my 7 on the essay like brought it down like so many points, so, I mean, yay, life, you know. I don't even know where to go on from there. So basically, so I looked at those schools, BU, which is like beautiful, and Northeastern, which I probably couldn't get into, but I have heard a lot of YouTubers talking about how they got in, and I'm like, oh, maybe I could get in. And so there's that. So, you know, those aren't really schools that I'm looking into at this point. At that point, I was really, didn't know 100% what I wanted to do in my life. Like, I knew that I wanted to do something with film, so I categorized it as broadcasting and journalism because I didn't realize that, like, the major that I was, like, referring to was actually digital filmmaking and not at all broadcasting and journalism. Like, those are completely different things. But after looking at broadcasting and journalism, I found Syracuse University. Syracuse State, I don't know. Basically, it's, in upstate New York, and it's far away from where I live in New York, but it certainly is closer than California, which is another idea that I have. And also it's probably it's like a decent amount cheaper because it is not a private university. I think it's not a private university. And it'll definitely be easier to get into because they have, like, if you look on prepscholar.com, which is literally going to be your best friend if you're doing the same process that I am, and looking up scores, average scores, mean scores, all that stuff. From SATs, ACTs, subject tests, all that stuff, from people that have previously gotten into that school. People that have previously gotten into that school didn't do quite as well as people that got into University of Southern California or NYU, which are currently my top 2. NYU was my top 1, like, was my top for forever. You know, everything's just great when you go there. When you go on their tour, they literally make you feel like that school's #1, especially if you're going to do something in the arts. That's how I feel. You know, film is definitely not a really, really strong academic major like biochemistry and like algebra or whatever it is. One thing I gotta say is that I did tour NYU, at the end of my junior year, but I went to California this past week and I checked out UCLA, California Institute of the Arts, and University of Southern California. So University of Southern California clearly stole my heart because now it's in my top 2. I really at this point don't know which one, USC or NYU, is my top school. I just know that they're both, like, you know, my favorites. USC and NYU both gave me the feeling of, like, wow, I could really see myself going here. You know, there's tons of school spirit. The difference between NYU and USC to me personally is that USC's campus is a campus and it's beautiful, and I don't know, everything about that school just screams school spirit. NYU does seem like it may have some more opportunities concerning internships and all that stuff, and really that's what you're looking for to get out of college. However, they are around the same price range, and if for some reason I got into both of those schools, again, this is really diverging? I don't think that's the word I'm looking for, but divulging? I can't speak, sorry. I was on a long flight, I got like 2 hours sleep. Also jet lag. So yeah, I'm really talking about me now, I'm sorry. But if you are looking into film schools, then that's cool, then we cool, you know? Basically, the really deciding factor for me is if I got into both schools, how much money, merit-based and financial aid-based, each school gave me. I have a feeling that USC would give me more than NYU. They do require about the same SAT, ACT score, but NYU gives very, very little to none merit-based scholarship, which is like totally, like, everyone knows that goes there, all that stuff, and yeah. Also, what I like about USC is that they have a sports program, and not that I'm like totally into sports and I'm gonna like try out for softball and like all that stuff, because girl, I'm not gonna do well, but I think being in a school that has a lot of programs like sports and activities and school spirit. It speaks a lot to me because I think I have a lot of school spirit just from my high school. You know, anywhere I go, I'm like, go Pirates, just like for fun. That's our school mascot, and yeah, just stuff like that. So, as I was telling you guys, I checked out Cal Institute of the Arts, which, if you don't know, it's a part of actually the Pixar theory. If you look in a lot of Pixar movies, the numbers or letters arrangement, A113, I believe, is in like almost all Pixar's animated films. I think after Nemo, I believe. I could be totally wrong about that. But yeah, like it's WALL-E and Toy Story and all that stuff, and that's actually referring to a room, a room in a building in Cal Institute of the Arts that so many, like the majority of Pixar animators went to. So that was like a big thing for me. Like a lot of Pixar people came from Cal Institute of the Arts, so it has a great alumni, and that influenced me a lot, as does NYU. USC as well too, like their film school is like super #1, so there's that. Okay, I wanna divulge, I know I'm not gonna say that word right, diffuse, that's not it either. Audrey, get your brain together. So I could start like a more broad sense of what I'm talking about. So, as I said, I'm signed up for the ACT and SAT, and I'm having a problem with motivation. I know a lot of people say the hardest part is starting because, you know, there's so much to do and everything like that, but the Common App is, I guess, your best friend. I keep going on the Common App website, and then I keep not wanting to do the essay. Like literally everything is filled out except for the essay because I can't get my brain together, you know? I just have to sit down one day, I guess, and just use all my brain power just in that one day and just write all my essays. Yeah. Also, I'm having a super hard time finding scholarships that are legit. I keep finding websites that are do this survey to get 20 points, and when you hit 500 points, you can get a scholarship. And I'm I don't know about that. So there's that. So, oh wait, okay, let me talk back about that. So as I said, I checked out UCLA, and this is not to be taken offense to anyone that likes UCLA. UCLA is their top school. UCLA, they want to go there for the rest of their life. UCLA, their parents went there, their brothers went there, anything like that. But I don't want to go there at all. UCLA got me so freaking depressed, and I think it might just be because I want to do film, and their film course is super selective, and it's got weird requirements, but I'll talk to you guys about that now. So if you're going into something else at UCLA, make sure you look at it and make sure you take a tour for that school. I think taking a tour for that school is so much different than just going there and looking at the campus, because you really get a feel, you get to talk to people that are, you know, students there, you get to talk to teachers, so it gives you more of a 360 instead of just a 180 where you see half of what's going on, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, oh my god, I have to crack my back. Okay, we good. Oh my god, I didn't shut my light. So annoying. Okay, so basically I went on a little tour information session about the TFT section of UCLA, which is basically their theater and film department. It's kind of in the same area, but not really. Let me talk about all the reasons why I don't like UCLA. Sorry, this is gonna be, I said, let me talk about all the reasons I don't like UCLA. My camera kind of cut me off. It's don't say that. Okay. So basically, I thought the campus was completely depressing. If you compare that to USC in the slightest, it's ew, gross. Who designed this? It's literally everything is gray, and honestly, I wear black and gray, and those are the only colors I wear, and I found that school depressing. I walked on there and I was but then I was whew, you can't judge it by a book by its cover, right? Okay, so I go and sit down in this little auditorium that they brought me into, and they're okay, first of all, and this is something I knew before, but having someone actually sit there and tell it to me was so much worse. Okay, I'll get back into it later about why it bothers me so much. Okay, so if you're in the theater or film department, course, major, etc., either if you're going for a master's or a bachelor's degree, you can't double major. You can't double major. You can minor, but you can't double major. Also, something else, if you put film, I think this only regards film, but if you put film as your #1 college of UCLA to get into, that school of UCLA, and you put, let's say, English down as your second choice, if you don't get into film, you can't get into English either. Or anything else of your second choice. You have to get into film or you can't go. Also, what bothers me a lot is that you can't like, not that you can't take math, but it's not required for a film or theater major, and I'm like, just like, why math? Like, I personally like math. I know it's weird, but I like math, and it bothers me that they like were like, oh my god, isn't that so exciting? That's how the lady presented it to me, and I'm like, are you good? Like, are you good? And so that's it. Also, about that school, I think that this is like one of the last things that bothered me really, is that for UCLA, for their film, now this isn't talking about theater, this is just about film, you know, for every other school, they like require a portfolio and maybe some writing requirements like here and there if it's a really top school. UCLA is a, like, you know, pretty prestigious school, but this was really surprising. So for their film school, they do not want a portfolio. If you send them a short film, I feel like my mom is yelling my name. You know when you just hear things? Okay, anyway. If you send them a short film, a DVD, a reel, anything like that, a portfolio, all of that stuff, they're gonna take your entire application and throw it in the garbage. That's how the lady said it to me, and I'm like, do you want me to go to your school or not? Like, I don't know. And so, like, other than that, they require, like, 6 writing requests. Like, I'm not twitting, like, 6. Like, aside from the Common App. Like, 6, essays. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, whoa. I'm sorry, am I going in as an English major? No, I'm going in as a film major. Why are you giving me 6 writing requirements and not a portfolio? Like, are you good? And so she was like, I'm sorry, I'm heated. She was like, oh, you know, it's because we don't want someone that's already taught. Already taught? No, it shows that I care about my major, okay? And I could see she was like, oh, like, we don't require a portfolio. But they're literally like, if you give in a portfolio, I'm throwing your application in the garbage. And I'm like, okay, like, so that bugged me a lot. And again, the double majoring thing. I'm gonna get back to it now. So I know that the film business, you know, theater, all that stuff is a very difficult business. You know, it's hard, it's, I can't think of the word right now, but like, it's very nitpicky, like, you know, what, 2% make it? I think that's more for acting, I think when you're an editor, you work with like a lot of editors in a room, and it's, you know, more of a chance. But, I mean, again, everyone has a different definition of making it in the first place, but I would like to make it. I'm sure many other people do as well. But, I don't know. Anyway, so the point of that is I would like to double major. So I want to double major in, like, social media marketing, like that whole thing, you know, digital media, business, so that, you know, that's like commercials and sponsors on YouTube and ads and, you know, the like, what is that, Fit Tea and like all that stuff, like Best Fiends, like, you know, they had like people doing that, like making sure that, you know, they got people that reach other people, and that's something that like I'm kind of interested in, and it would be a great double major because first of all, they go hand in hand, and second of all, it's probably easier to get a job like that, especially in the next 4 years, than maybe being a filmmaker would be. So I wouldn't want to go to a school that only I could do film in. I would also like to minor in screenwriting, but that's besides the point. So that's one of the reasons that I kind of excluded Cal Institute of the Arts and some other schools off of my list, you know, because Cal Institute of the Arts is a great school. Like, if you want to be a filmmaker, like, you should go there. Like, animator, all that stuff. Go to Cal Institute of the Arts because it's great, you know. But one thing, like, yes, it is accredited, but I was talking to, like, some people there, and they were like, like, you could go here, like, forever, like, long you want. Like, you could go here for 2 years, you could go here for 4 years, like, I'm like, that doesn't sound great. And, yeah, you get a bachelor's degree and all that jazz, but, I don't know about it. So, another thing about those kind of schools is, like, you know, just like the New York Film Academy and all that stuff, if I want to double major in something other than, like, the arts, like music or film or dance or acting, I can't. Like, they don't have that stuff, you know. Maybe they have a branch, like, of one English studies, social studies, you know, because that's kind of connected, I guess, or computer. Oh my god, my foot is falling asleep. Okay. I've been sitting here for a very long time then. Maybe I could just do this unedited. Would that be cool? I don't know. Anyway, oh, my foot fell asleep so badly. So that's why I was kind of not looking at those colleges, and that's why I really want to double major. So yeah, I mean, if you guys want more videos talking about this kind of stuff and explaining my major, or like really delving into like my kind of major that I want to look into, please let me know down in the comments below. If anyone else is a senior or a junior and they're getting on this train, please, please, please let me know, so we can talk about it together. One other thing I wanted to mention is that I'm checking out Syracuse and Rochester University very soon, so I can see if that's somewhere that I might want to be. You know, those are more of a safety school, but they're definitely a middle ground in the same way that NYU and USC are. So, yeah, I think that's done with my college talk. I really wanted to get all that stuff off my chest. So, there you go, guys. I can't wait to see you next time. Bye!
I took a drive in the middle of the night. The first time I've done that without you by my side. And our song was playing on the radio. It seems to follow me